Hello, and welcome to the training video, How to Create Accessible Data Tables in PDF Documents. Training Overview. This video will cover creating accessible tables before conversion, creating Word table headers, creating Excel table headers, verifying and fixing tables in Acrobat, manually tagging table headings from a tagged table, manually tagging unmarked tables, testing table accessibility, and applying scope attributes. Creating accessible tables in Word or Excel before conversion. Creating accessible data tables always begins with using built-in table tools. Do not simulate tables using tabs, spaces, or drawn lines. Data tables should be structured to include headers that define the meaning of the data within the table. Sighted users can visually associate data with corresponding headers, but screen readers rely on proper markup. Creating Word table headers. First, open the Word document and select the table. Then select Design. Select one of the following settings. Check the header row and first column for a table with heading in the first row and first column. Check the header row checkbox for headings in the first row of the table. Then enter descriptive headings in the first row and/or column. Creating Excel table headers. First, open the Excel worksheet and select the data range. Then, in the Insert tab in the Tables group, select Table. Then check the checkbox, My Table Has Headers, and select OK. Verifying and fixing tables in Acrobat. Table tag types in Acrobat. The table tag is a container for table contents. The T-body tag is a group of rows that make up the table content. The TD tag is a table data cell container. The T-head tag is a group of header cells that make up the table header. The TH tag describes a table cell as a header in either horizontal row or vertical column. The TR tag is a table row group. Table tag structure example. Now let's look at an example of proper table tag structure in Adobe Acrobat Pro. The following image is a table that shows proper table tag structure. For a table with a first row header, we begin with a table tag on the first level. On the second level, we have a T-head container and a T-body container. Within the T-head container, we have a TR container that contains 3 TH column header cells. Within the T-body container, we have 2 TR containers that contain 3 TD data cells each. For a table with first row and column headers, we begin with a table tag in the first level. On the second level, we have a T-head container and a T-body container. Within the T-head container, we have a TR container that contains 3 TH column header cells. Within the T-body container, we have 2 TR containers that contain 1 TH row header and 2 TD data cells each. Manually tagging table headings from a tagged table. Let's walk through this together. First, right-click the Table tag in the Tags panel and select Table Editor. Then select the table cell header and right-click the cell, then select Table Cell Properties. Under the Type section, select the Header Cell button. In the Scope drop-down menu, select Column and select OK. Manually tag unmarked tables. To do this, first click on the Tags panel. Then click on the upper right menu and select Create a Tag. Then select Table. Click on the upper right menu again and select Create a Tag. Select Table Row or TR. Repeat for the number of rows in the table. Then nest the TR containers in the table container. Select the tag container of a table header cell or data cell. Right-click and select Create a Tag. Select the appropriate tag, TH for a table header, TD for a data cell. For each row, place the table header or cell in the appropriate container, then nest it in the appropriate row from left to right. Review and remediate tag structure to make sure all containers are nested correctly. Table, TR, then TH/TD, and set scope as needed. Testing table accessibility. Let's start by using the accessibility checker. First, open the accessibility tool and run an accessibility check. Then review results. Go to the Table section of the accessibility checker. Review rows, TH and TD, headers, regularity, and summary to see if there are any errors. A few additional best practices for accessible data tables include using captions. Use caption tags to provide a table summary. Scope. Always set the correct scope, row/column, for headers. Avoid complexity. Limit merged/spanned cells and multi-level headers. Use simple tables whenever possible. Consistent structure. Ensure each data cell is associated with the correct headers. Applying scope attributes. Simple table. The simple table example headers are in the first row. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals column, attribute section, row span equals 1, column span equals 1. Note, to select multiple cells at the same time, use Shift plus click. Now let's dive into more complex tables. Applying scope attributes. Complex table example 1. The complex table example has 3 levels of headers and an empty data cell. First, select the sales in dollars cell. Then right-click. Then select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals column, attribute section, row span equals 1, and column span equals 5. Select the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 cells. Then right-click, then select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals column, attribute section, row span equals 1, column span equals 1. Select the product 1 and product 2 cells, right-click, then select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals row, attribute section, row span equals 1, column span equals 1. Select the empty cell, right-click, then select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, data cell, scope will be grayed out, attribute section, row span equals 1, column span equals 1. Applying scope attributes, complex table, example 2. Let's look at another complex table. This complex table example has 4 levels of headers. First, select the timeline cell, right-click, then select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals column, attribute section, row span equals 1, and column span equals 2. Select the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 cells, then right-click and select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals row, attribute section, row span equals 1, column span equals 1. Select the product 1 and product 2 cells, then right-click and select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals column, attribute section, row span equals 1, column span equals 1. Select the January to June and July to December cells, then right-click and select Table Properties. Table cell properties include type section, header cell, scope equals row, attribute section, row span equals 2, column span equals 1. Thank you for your time. This concludes the training session, How to Create Accessible Data Tables in PDF Documents. For additional information about PDF accessibility, please visit the NCRTM Accessibility Resources page. A link is available in the YouTube description below.